Serious question, why are there songs out there that are like, we're gonna do it all night? Who is we? The only thing I'm gonna be doing all night is gnawing on my night guard and producing snores that sound like a lawnmower hit a rock, okay? That's all I'm doing. We're gonna do it all night. No, that's not the point of this video. Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. I just woke up, I got myself all good to go. I literally have my hair clips, my big old hair clips left in. I'm gonna leave them in, we're gonna have a conversation. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today's video I have been so eager to make because we are talking about the downfall of Monat. Your favorite local girl boss is probably completely, as sadly as this is, unaware of the plethora of issues with this multi-level marketing company. I know many of you guys know what this company is. Monat. Personally, I've always pronounced it Monat because I could give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. Personally, I always just was like, Monat, whatever. It's not worth pronouncing correctly in my opinion because it sucks no matter what. It's not going to make a difference because the company, in my opinion, is not doing too damn well. Monat is a very interesting company because it's a multi-level marketing company. And we have seen this company around for a very long time. So what I wanted to do is show you guys pretty much the drama, the tea that's going on behind the scenes that has led to the ultimate downfall, in my opinion, of the Monat company. So I'm really excited for that. Buckle up, get ready, grab a snack because this is going to be an entertaining one. So before you hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below. I have my podcast, my second channel, my Instagram, TikTok, all the goods are down in the description below as well. Definitely check them out. We have so much that we are doing over there. I have a blast, okay? And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, let's give a backstory on Monat in general of what the company is. Okay, so Monat has been around for quite some time. This is a company that many of us know as a hair care company. I think a lot of y'all are aware because I've talked about MLMs, but if you're brand new here, let's give a little recap. So a multi-level marketing company is what Monat is. There are multi-level marketing companies that we can find anywhere, but essentially the way that these kind of work is you join and buy a starter kit. And those starter kits can range sometimes, depending on the company, maybe $50 to hundreds. It's just kind of all over the place. But you have to buy a starter kit, and then you have kind of two things that you can do. So you can sell a bunch of products and you can recruit people into selling the exact same thing as you. The big issue that a lot of people have when it comes to these companies is the data behind them, and then additionally the unethical system that is kind of created in order to form the MLM. So it's not a traditional company where you are literally paid a livable wage and so much more. You pretty much are falling under the category of you're not getting like benefits, you're not getting nothing, okay? Statistically, majority of people, over 90% on most companies that we can see, make little to no money. Most people lose money in an MLM. Very sad, but this is data that we've seen replicated in most MLM companies, including Monat, which we will get into here momentarily. Now, selling the products is not really a big issue because, if you have products and you make commission, that's fine. No one cares about making commission off of selling products. If you're falsely advertising a product, then yes, that's an issue. But the biggest problem that everyone has is the recruitment aspect. When you have a system that is set up to where most people don't make money, and then you recruit them into that system, that's pretty damn unethical, don't you think? Especially when you recruit someone into a system under the guise of you can make money, you can have a good side income, this can change your life, you could retire your husband. All these statements we have seen for years on my channel and many others, and just any damn Facebook post from any person that has gone on talking about how Monat is an amazing opportunity. This is where people have issues. Now that we got out of the way of who Monat is, Monat has been run by a family and has just kind of been blowing up over the past several years, but we've also seen kind of a steady downfall, in my opinion, over the past few years as well. They were kind of popular right before 2020. However, they really picked it up in 2020 due to the pandemic. Now, they had some insane issues going on because they allegedly got in trouble for having a lot of marketing around opportunities and side incomes, especially during the pandemic, where everyone lost their job and, people who lose their jobs are like, oh God, what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden this magical business opportunity falls into their hands. That was a really big issue. So when people are looking and desperately looking for side income, there is an incredibly high boost in a lot of these MLM companies. And that's what we witnessed with Monat. Now, we see a lot of people joining, and that was when we saw the huge arenas getting filled up with people attending conferences. We saw people driving around their Cadillacs for Monat, the people going on trips that were allegedly free, so much more. So we're going to dive into the not so glamorous side of all that the girl bosses were not talking about, and a lot of them completely fell into. Now, a huge disclaimer I want to make, and I just I like being incredibly clear about this, is when we see people in these things, I feel bad for them. My sympathy lessens once we get to the higher ups, because again, those are top leaders who are aware of their numbers, how much money they're making, and the percentage of where it's coming from, whether it's actual sales or recruiting people. And when you knowingly are recruiting people into a bad system and are profiting off of people and the losses of those people, I don't fucking like you. I don't have sympathy for you. Do I wish them to change and be better? Oh yeah, but that's where I stand, okay? But when we see this, I don't want us to perceive it as they're bad people. I personally believe that this is a commercial cult, okay? So when we see your local girl boss pushing and promoting it, I don't think the best idea is to go with them. You know what I mean? I think it's good to share information, but understand that when you're in a perspective that is so brainwashed, there's not a lot that you can do until it starts negatively impacting them in a way to where they can't avoid it. And some people even still don't. We can't save everyone, but we can definitely do our best to give information. And if you know somebody who would possibly be willing to learn about this and understand the downfalls of Monat, then definitely send them the link to this video. But again, if no one perceives it, that's okay. And for those of you who are hopping on, who are also people who are part of Monat, or maybe having questions, first of all, it is incredibly logical to have questions. Even if your system is completely okay, it's a right to have questions. There is nothing wrong with asking questions. I encourage you to just kind of be like open to learning. I'm just wanting to encourage you to just listen and kind of hear it out, because I do really hope that you are willing to just look, just look and listen. Like, all right, now that we've got it, no harassing people, you get the vibes. Okay. Anyways, let's get into the big aspects of Monat. So fun fact, Monat has already had a plethora of issues. These are actually a few lawsuits and / settlements that they have had, and a big conversation that a lot of these people inside of Monat and the promoters have said, oh, well, Monat has won all of their lawsuits. That there's not that big of a deal. Everything's totally fine. That's actually not entirely true. There's been a lot of settlements, but that doesn't mean there's been any wins. Now, again, anyone can sue anyone, but that doesn't mean that you've won something if you settle. There's no definite winner in that situation. It's just a settlement. So keep that in mind. However, there have been many situations that have been brought up about hair loss. This is where we focus on the products. So there was a lot of conversations the past several years about hair loss with their hair care, because people were literally saying that they were losing hair and their hair quality was just shit after using the products.
A trendy shampoo that made all sorts of promises to its customers is once again under the microscope. Monat is mostly sold person to person through multi-level marketing. But in 2018, its users started reporting balding and scalp sores. Now, Monat is signing a compliance agreement and issuing refunds.
I started noticing my hair was just falling out in handfuls.
Pam Benson says her hair fell out after using Monat hair care products.
And I had also tried this on my daughter and my granddaughter. And I tried the children's version on my granddaughter, and her hair was falling out and my daughter's hair fell out.
This was Pam's hair before Monat.
My hair was so thick that I couldn't put a ponytail holder around it twice. And my hair got so thin, I could put it around 4 or 5 times.
When she complained to the company, a Monat rep told her
it was detox. And they said that your hair has to detox and get rid of all the buildup that's on your hair.
That's just one of the claims the multi-level marketer is no longer allowed to make. In August, Monat signed this assurance of voluntary compliance to resolve an investigation by the Attorney General in Florida, where Monat is headquartered. The AG's office launched its investigation into Monat's claims and business practices after our Las Vegas affiliate's investigation in March of 2018. The AG was aware of more than 800 consumer complaints across the country.
I know there's many hair care companies that have had serious issues just in general, but this was something that kind of started a conversation of why the company was bad to begin with. Now, another big thing to show the actual downfall of the company is I want to kind of go over the income disclosure statements and how things have pretty much slowly decreased. So we're going to be focusing on the money aspect right now, which I'm incredibly hyped to do. So income disclosure statements are pretty much documents that are like, hey, this is how much you see promoters making. Just this is kind of what you're looking at and what you can kind of expect. Again, it's going to really depend on what you do. These documents are really important because we get to kind of look at them throughout the years and compile the information, see how much has changed and how bad it's gotten. And it's really important because you can see how many people are in the lower ranks, how many people are hardly making anything, and how it's honestly drastically changing. So that is what we're going to get into now. I'm actually going to be pulling out some quick charts that I've made, but also I do want to say I have a friend of mine. Her name is Chelsea Suarez. Love her. She actually has been making a lot of content that's been really zoning into a lot of very specific details. So I highly recommend you guys check out her videos. She's done a phenomenal job. And also I will be showing some of her charts on here. And I want to make sure that I credit her. You guys definitely go check her out because she has a lot of content discussing these exact situations. So first income disclosure statement we're going to show is the 2020 income disclosure statement. Now this right here shows there are market partners that are kind of the main base and first level. That we have 92.26% of people in the company in this level. So most people in the MLM are at this rank. So the numbers we're going to really be focusing on are the average annual and the median. The median, in my opinion, is going to be the most accurate. I know I've repeated this many times before in other videos, but it's kind of where if you have somebody that's making like $50,000 a year and then all like 90% of them are making $50, if you do the average of that, that is going to be incredibly skewed higher than what you actually should expect. Whereas if we do the median, we're going to see majority of what people are actually making. That's just what I'm assuming. When we look at median annual earnings, 92.26% of people made an annual gross earning of nothing. So if we compare this $12,913, which was the high versus the average annual earnings, and then the median annual, we can see that you're not expecting to make much, which is fucking insane. Next break even, we have managing market partner. 3.78% of people are here, okay? Then we go over to the median annual gross earnings was $1,815, not including taxes, fees, products that you buy, and so much more. And when we actually take out taxes and after all the expenses that you're going to pay, you are more than likely not going to have anything left. So there is 2020 right there. Let's go to 2021. 2021 shows that there were 93.36% of people at the lowest rank. So that kind of jumped a little bit the next year. However, the numbers were a little bit higher, but still not good. Median annual gross earnings was $21. So we went from 0 to 21. So we have a little bit of a peak here. Either way though, it's not looking good. The high annual gross earning jumped to $21,889. But again, the average in total was 144. Still, it doesn't look like to me that there was enough people making a decent amount to skew that average into a higher number. So that's bad. Next, again, managing market partners, 3.26% of people were there. High annual was $32,000, but again, our median was $1,686, not including taxes and fees. Still not good enough to be putting that much effort in and hardly getting anything out. That to me is in no way worth it. Now here we have the 2020 income disclosure statement. Market partners, 91.33% of people are at this level. So there's not as many people now, but still 90% of your company is at this rank. Median annual gross earnings, $34. Yikes, that's still shit. Annual gross earnings is $133. High annual gross earnings is $26,648. Still not good. Most people, as we can see by the average and even just the median alone, are hardly making anything. Now here's the 2023 to 2024. This is on the Monat website. Market partner, we have 91.50% of people in this. High annual gross earning dropped a shit ton in 2023 to $14,717. We just saw in the 20,000s in 2022. Now in 2023, it's dropped a lot. Low annual gross earnings is 0. Average is 114. Again, we're seeing a drop. Median annual gross earnings, another drop, $26 for the entire year. The fuck? In what world is that good opportunity? But we're seeing these decreases now. Again, managing market partner, 4.40% of people in that second rank. 8,479 is the high annual gross earning. Low annual gross is 0. The average is 1,324. The median annual gross earning is 1,171, not including taxes for the entire year. Now here is where we finally hit 2024. That is where we have 94.6% of people in the company at the lowest rate. Again, what have we seen? Another drop in the high annual gross earning, $12,878. Average annual gross earning is $63. Median gross earnings for the year is 0. That's bad. We have another drop though in how many people hit the second rank. Only 2.54% are here. High annual gross earnings is 8,499. Low is 61. The average annual gross earnings is 928, but the median is 748. So as we can see with all these numbers, the biggest conclusion is everyone's been fucked over with a lie, in my opinion. Everyone has been led to believe that this amazing opportunity where you're going to have so much money, you're going to have time freedom, it is falling apart from what I can see. This is not doing good in any way. And if this company was projected to grow and hit $1 billion or become the next big thing, as I've seen many promoters claim, we would not see this low at all. I do not think that we would, period. Now, this would explain the alleged mass exodus of people who are top leaders in the company suddenly leaving to go to pharmacy, Oliveda, and many other multi-level marketing companies. And to me, I think that truly should show you how the company is doing. Because if we see those numbers right there, we should also be able to infer, in my opinion, that if the top leaders have claimed for years that this company is amazing, are leaving to a new one, they're not doing good. Because why in the hell would these top leaders who have allegedly made millions and millions of dollars leave such a good opportunity? In my opinion, it's pretty damn obvious it's not a good opportunity anymore. So now next up, I want to talk about the revenue reports. There's been a lot of claims about how this company is just flourishing in income, and apparently that is not remotely the case whatsoever. Again, I'm popping up some information from Chelsea's video. I love this. Thank you, by the way, to the MLM boss and then CC Suarez for making this. I love you, girl. We have 2021. There was 298,000 market partners, just people in total that were inside of the company. Next, we have in 2022, there was only 155,000 market partners in the company. Now in 2023, there's 109,000 market partners in the company. It says in 2021, the sales were around $632.5 million estimated. 2022 beauty sales went to $376 million estimate. Then we have 2023, where it's $350 million, going from $632 million dropping down to around 350 is pretty damn low, especially when we see how many people are leaving these companies now and the numbers that are dropping for the income in general. And then we can also see the lawsuits that are happening, which I'll get into in a second. And then also the fact that your revenue is allegedly dropping. This is not good. So in my opinion, if you are someone that's in this company right now, you gotta go. Like, this should not be something that you want to sit and wait for. From my personal perspective, I do not think this company gives a about you. They're not going to make sure you're okay. They're not going to make sure that you have food on the table, in my opinion. So why in the hell should you wait and sit with them while the ship's going down? That's just my thought. Now let's talk about the conventions, because this honestly is incredibly sad. If you guys do or don't know, a lot of MLM companies will host these mega, I like to call them cult conventions, where once a year they get all together, they celebrate their success, they give each other acrylic plaques of like, you became the best boss babe of the year. And they give off these fucking cardboard checks of like, you made millions. So they host them every single year. I've actually made videos covering these conventions, and I want to show you guys the comparison between years ago when I made videos discussing this versus now. The drastic difference between the convention size, the stadiums that they're in, to now is honestly incredibly insane to me. Look at that. Look at the change. We went from stadiums, people having to rent out Airbnbs because there was so much going on, major booths outside, even not just in the event space, so that way people could buy the products, take photos, and so much more, to now we're in what, a fucking Marriott? That's like, dude, that is bad. And I know there's so many people who are still in this company that are like, no, it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. They're just downsizing. Girl, no, this is not looking good at all. This is a company that is falling apart. And I think if anything, that should show you that they can't even fill up a stadium anymore with people that believe this shit. This is not something to glorify. And I think a lot of people try really hard to grasp onto the dream because they're trained in these companies to keep onto the dream. Don't give up. We've got this. Especially with the, leaders of the company and the people who run the company. They are going on about how we're doing good. We're making changes. We're launching new products. There's nothing wrong. In my opinion, they're lying to people constantly about what's happening. They're not actually being honest with what's going on behind scenes, which is incredibly scary. It's not what it has appeared to be shown to you. And this is why I like to say that it's incredibly easy for people to make a fake dream on social media. It's really easy to make things look like they're amazing when they're not, because I'm just telling you right now, a successful company to me does not look like, oh shit, we got to cancel childcare last minute because like we just can't do it at the recent convention. Oh, we have to downsize heavily from filling up a stadium or something like that to we got to be in a hotel. That does not look like a successful company to me. And it's kind of crazy because they used to be huge and now it's not looking good. Now, there are many other lawsuits that have recently fallen apart that has shown a lot of really sad realities that are happening inside of the MLM company. But I really briefly want to highlight the incredible issues that happened that was really funny to say the least. A few years ago, I think it was a few years ago, I can't remember exactly when all this happened. Myself and others were sent a link to pretty much a aspect of the Monat's website where they didn't have a firewall on it, okay? They didn't have any protections. This was the entire back office of Monat, their earnings, their information, every top leader that you could think of, all of their info. And from what we could see, and Chelsea actually made a really good video on this, diving into everything, but from all these screenshots and information, we could see that from just the data that they did not lock down, by the way, they were making a lot of their money off of recruiting people into a system. First of all, I think we need to just get this out of the way. Why would you ever trust a company that does not protect their data? That's nuts. They're not smart enough to protect their data. They're $1 million company. They're trying to get to $1 billion, but they don't protect their data. Don't even get that. But how is it my goofy ass and other people were able to just scoot around their numbers and save PDFs and save all their Excel spreadsheets? Hello? Really bad, y'all. Really bad. So they didn't protect their data and it was kind of leaked and a lot of people turned it into the Florida Attorney General, which thank y'all so much for doing that. And hopefully they are going to be, we're just hoping for more investigations into the fact that they are an alleged pyramid scheme, because what we saw by the data, from what we could see, it looked like that they were running like a pyramid scheme. I know many people have their different perspectives on it. The owners have said and completely denied that. A lot of other people, when they found out this data was leaked, said that it was complete bullshit. The FTC is going to be able to dictate exactly if this is a pyramid scheme or not, and the Attorney General is going to be able to do that. So I'm just saying, when a company has leaked data that they're not doing good, but furthermore has leaked data that we have been talking about for years, that's nuts. That is incredibly insane to me. Let's get into the major lawsuits that have been happening right now, because these are messy as hell. Because I don't think this company is going to care about you or protect you, especially when, in my opinion, they will turn their back on one of their best performing top leaders in the company. Let me introduce you to Toni. So Toni was a top leader in the multi-level marketing world, and she was in the company. She was one of those people that pretty much joined at the perfect time, where when you're in an MLM that early, before it like blows up, I mean blows up to a level to where like a lot of people know about it, okay? She hit a point to where she was a millionaire. She was at the point to where people were put under her because like no one else could join under anyone else. Like she was it. People that didn't even know that she was their upline, like she was that upline. She was like the upline in the Monat company. Like a few months ago, Toni actually came out with an Instagram video talking about how she has been mistreated by the company, that she cannot be a part of the company anymore, and how there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that she didn't agree with, which has led to a lawsuit. And I also want to just give a huge shout out again to a creator by the name of Behind the MLM, who runs a site. He's got really amazing information on there and breaks down a lot of like documents and info, so it's easily accessible to people, which thank you, because that is really important. When information is easily accessible, it is better. People can actually understand it, know what's going on, and it's phenomenal. So he was able to break down around June 13th what was happening with Toni Van Schuyck around Monat. Toni claims she is a founding Monat distributor who owns founder shares. She's been with Monat for more than a decade and claims that she worked directly with founder Rainer and Luis Urendeta and sits atop a large and robust downline, which was, from what we could see, majority of the company. She allegedly witnessed her commission drop 75% over 2 years. She claims that she was terminated in May of 2024 for, I'm not kidding, asking questions about the company. Are you shitting me? Your biggest promoter, all of a sudden they just are like, nope, never mind. So that already, cancels the whole concept of this is your own business, because how the hell can you get fired from your own business like this so easily? So she originally filed a complaint on June 6th in Florida. An amended complaint, in which this article is based on, was filed June 12th. She claims to have earned over $100,000 a month between 2015 to 2020, and as of 2024, she claims her Monat commissions dropped to less than a quarter of that sum. She doesn't provide a dollar amount, but does state since 2022, her annual commission rate is less than what she used to earn in 2 months. She claims that Monat and the Urendetas have failed to provide her with a, quote, reasonable explanation for this, which is, yeah, legit. If a top leader is asking questions and allegedly getting kicked out for that, then what makes you think this is a good, legit company in any way? Yeah. Allegedly, she was previously included in telephone meetings and face-to-face meetings where she raised her concerns directly to the Urendetas and has not received truthful answers to the commissions underpayment and corporate governance questions raised. Allegedly, she was told by Monat's corporate compliance team that her questions regarding payment commission will be answered and resolved, but to date, no resolution has been reached. And that was kind of when Toni claimed that she was barred from events and team phone calls without cause, which caused her team to seek answers from her about her commitment to the company and her future ability to earn income. So apparently she wasn't even allowed, the fact that she wasn't even allowed to be a part of team calls, which is a huge thing, is the Zoom calls, the trainings, all of that kind of stuff. Like that's nuts to me. She was allegedly denied a transfer of her business between she and her husband, which she would ordinarily be granted without reservation. She was warned by Monet agents that any testimony she gives in any concurrent or future legal matters would directly impact her business with Monet, and she was told that her continued ability to work with Monet depends on her willingness to, quote, get in line. And allegedly, because of this back and forth with the Arandetas and Toni, she lost a lot of people in her downline due to the alleged false and defamatory statements about Toni. And the defendants in this case feared this more than anything and engaged in a scheme to discredit Toni in such a way that she would be forced to leave the business in shame so that the defendants could continue to operate unlawfully. Holy shit. So Toni actually further claims she's been made aware of additional conversations, which indicates Monet is no longer a viable company with truthful accounting and record-keeping practices. So that sounds like a claim of fraud, if anything. That's not good. Causes of action raised against Monet and the Arandetas include alleged breach of contract, specific performance, breach of duty of good faith and fair dealing, and defamation. She claims damages on defamation count and loss of revenue in income totaling $1.5 million or split $750 across both claims. Now, it's really sad because she has moved on to a mayor and into a new MLM, but I think that should speak volumes how a company is not doing good when their own top leader got completely screwed out of a shit ton of money, just in my opinion. Then the next thing that started happening was the former president, Stewart McMillan, also got into some deep shit. So how is it that a company that's so successful and amazing, that everyone's posting up on Facebook and Instagram, is dealing with not only losing their top biggest performer in the company, Toni, but now having problems with the president? That's real interesting. The former president, Stewart McMillan, has sued Monet and founder, CEO, Louis and Rainer Urandeta. So again, we're dealing with the Urandetas again, suing them. How the you get in that much trouble? If that many people, or if your team are saying you're an awful person and trying to get into your ass and suing you, I think it's safe to say, in my opinion, I'm just gonna, throw it out there, you're probably a bad person. So Stewart actually claims he built Monet from nothing to a skincare and hair product company, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue with hundreds of employees, millions of customers, and market partners numbering in hundreds of thousands of worldwide. Stewart claimed he signed on as a Monet's president after the Urandetas promised him that 3 of them would work together to maximize Monet's profits, and Stewart would be paid a 3% profit share while he worked for Monet and for a certain amount of time thereafter, when he was done. Allegedly, L. Urandeta and R. Urandeta threatened to terminate Stewart if he did not agree to a non-compete agreement and a non-solicit agreement. Stewart claims that Urandetas, quote, felt threatened by Monet's employees and independent contract market partners' loyalty and affections towards Stewart, versus them. Stewart agreed to all the Urandetas' demands and signed a new agreement with the Urandetas in October of 2019. And then finally, once we skip forward, in June of 2023, which is technically around a year ago, a little over a year ago, Stewart resigned from his position as Monet's president. Between the dates of resignation from Monet in 2023, the initial post-employment deadline of March 2024, both Urandetas demanded that Stewart have no contact with 3,000 people associated with Monet in order to receive the post-employment payment owed pursuant to the profit-sharing agreement. Stewart claimed that this demand had no basis in any law or contract, and the demand was a pretext to justify not paying McMillan. So it sounds like they were trying, from what I can see, to find a way to not pay him and not have any more connections with him. Like, they're messy. So Stewart claimed, again, pursuant to his signed agreement, his first payment of $500,000, first post-employment payment of $500,000 was due on or before March 31st, 2024. Stewart claimed he had not been paid. In justifying they not paying Stewart, the Urandetas claimed McMillan had, quote, lost all profit sharings with L. Urandeta, R. Urandeta, or Monet. Stewart said he owned between $8 million and $16 million, and the Urandetas are still binding him to the non-compete and non-solicit clauses of his profit share agreement. Central to Stewart's complaint is the Urandetas screwing him over financially. Examples of this are shutting down Stewart's attempt to make Monet's manufacturing more competitive, the Urandetas generating contrived and improper expenses through employment of Urandetas insiders, family members and friends in no-show or non-existent jobs, sometimes paying them under the table. So allegedly they were funding their family members, So it's funny how their market partners are hardly making shit, but they're funneling money, allegedly, to their family members. That's interesting. The Urundetta is maxing out Monat's credit cards on personal luxuries, lifestyles, including private airplanes, expensive dinners, and luxurious travel accommodations, including a $50,000 room service bill in Dubai. So you want to claim you're helping families, but you'll drop $50,000 in room service bill that you probably can't even afford. That's fun. The Urundetta is paying for, quote, personal and household expenses from Monat bank accounts. The Urundetta is paying for family members and friends to attend company incentive trips. These are supposed to be incentive rewards Monat distributors only qualify for. The Urundetta is using Monat funds to pay off their personal credit cards for non-business expenses, $150,000 a month cited. So this company is not doing good, y'all. And all in all, Stewart claims the Urundettas appropriated approximately $100 million since Monat's inception. All this information even discusses how Monat suffered significant losses in the downturn of 2022 and even further. And Urundetta described, according to our Urundetta, Monat's products are irrelevant. And here's what also is incredibly insane. It goes on to discuss that, interestingly, Macmillan claims the Urundettas are adamant to have no contact within Monat because, according to our Urundetta, Monat's products are irrelevant, and for Monat to succeed, Monat's employees and independent contract market partners must completely forget about their previous leader, Stewart, in order to be loyal and dedicated to Monat's new leader, Urundetta. Urundetta describes Monat to be more like a cult than a business, which I agree according to that opinion. It sounds like the loyalty and it sounds like a commercial cult just from this information alone. So here's when the Urundettas filed a counterclaim against Stewart. They claimed that Stewart cost Monat millions of dollars in business losses, and apparently Stewart repeatedly displayed poor judgment, such as being under the influence at work events, disclosing Monat's confidential and proprietary information while inebriated, and it became a highly paid employee receiving millions of dollars in compensation in a few short years. And their version of this is in 2018, Stewart became expressing his desire to retire in the near future and asked the Urundettas to modify the profit-sharing provisions of his employment agreement to guarantee a minimum amount he might receive after he retired. Urundettas recognized that Stewart was nearing retirement age, and based on his family-centric culture, Urundettas wanted to accommodate Macmillan's request and give him a soft landing in retirement. In exchange, however, Monat wanted assurance that when retired, he would in fact leave the direct sales industry behind and find something else to keep him occupied. So after 5 years of working with him, Urundettas learned that Stewart was mesmerized by the allure of the limelight, celebrity status, recognition, and attention given him by thousands of beautiful women throughout the world, directly flowing from Stewart's access to Monat's worldwide stage. So apparently Stewart was more than willing to accept this unbelievably generous arrangement because it was guaranteed that for every year he had worked at Monat, -1, he would receive a minimum yearly payment of $800,000. If the profit calculations exceeded $800,000, he would receive more, up to a shocking $2 million annually for finding a new hobby and hanging out with his grandkids. And they claim that his ineptitude caused the company to lose millions in connection with a costly IT project directly under his supervision that imploded. So the Urundettas also acknowledge Monat's, quote, 3 years of plummeting losses and sales decline, but they claim no financial trouble. And that is just kind of the surface level of some of these things that are going on with the entire lawsuit. And last but certainly not least, I want to kind of wrap it up with a lot of what the promoters are talking about and just people leaving the company. There have been a high amount of people that are promoters that aren't top leaders, for example, but are still part of the company, sharing their stories of why they're leaving the company, what happened to them, etc. And this company has had many issues. They have been known for a lot of their promoters needing warnings essentially for making incredibly ridiculous income claims. So we have witnessed this company just not do good whatsoever. We have witnessed for years this company and just their promoters making crazy claims about their products that I think are a little bit nuts. We have seen a lot of issues with people leaving the company because they're not doing that good, in my opinion. We have seen Zoom calls with horrendous leadership, people making so many claims that are incredibly unrealistic about this company, and so much more. To me, this is the ultimate downfall of Monat that so many of us have been waiting for. And when you are all watching and witnessing your friends post up about the great shampoo that they're selling, just know what's attached to that is this. It's these lawsuits that are happening behind scenes. It's the settlements. It's the alleged hair loss. It's the mass exodus of leaders and other people leaving the companies. It's the income disclosure statements showing people are hardly making anything. So when you see the mom trying to sell products, honestly feel bad for her and hope that she sees the light. That was it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely, if we have any other new updates, let me know. But I had to tell you guys the tea and the drama with this thing because oh my god, it is bad. Don't forget to check out all my other channels and things in the description below. And again, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.